transformação completa e um perfume envolvente que libera todo o seu poder de sedução. Novo.
We were able to take the fantasy world and make it seem like it's happening among us.
Came back to finish you off.
That opened the door for the studios not to be afraid of costumes, not to be afraid of superpowers.
18º colocado, Conan, o Bárbaro. Conan, o Bárbaro, apareceu pela primeira vez em 1932 nas páginas da revista Weird Tales. O musculoso herói medieval foi criado por Robert E. Howard, pai do gênero da fantasia heróica, que em apenas 12 anos produziu centenas de contos de ficção antes de se suicidar aos 30 anos.
Conan is your Superman, Batman character with the spandex off, set in the dark past.
Forces of evil sweep into his village when he's a boy, and they kill his parents. They take the boy prisoner, and he gets free and picks up a sword. And that, again, is the satisfying nature of the superhero myth, when the oppressed finally gains his power and his freedom.
Quando o produtor Dino de Laurentiis levou o super-herói para a tela grande em 1982, os fãs duvidaram que houvesse um ator forte o bastante para encarnar as medidas de Conan. Eis que surge Arnold Schwarzenegger, ex-Mister Universo, cujo inglês era tão rude quanto o personagem que interpretava.
I will have my own kingdom, my own queen.
Conan truly defined a career for Arnold Schwarzenegger. I don't know where you get steroids in, you know, the Middle Ages, but apparently he had a really good hookup. Schwarzenegger, I think, was the perfect guy to play Conan. I don't know what a Sumerian accent sounds like, but it probably sounds exactly like an Austrian accent.
Excuse me. I must get up now.
17º colocado, Austin Powers.
Do I make you horny? Randy?
Em 1997, Mike Myers criou uma sátira dos super-espiões dos anos 60. Misturando James Bond, Derek Flint e o seriado Os Vingadores. O resultado? Austin Powers, o homem internacional de mistérios. Um herói cuja falta de habilidades era sua qualidade mais cativante.
Okay, name. Austin Danger Powers. Sex? Yes, please.
The nice thing about Austin is not his perfection, it's his imperfection. The fact that he's lost in a modern world that he doesn't really understand that makes him attractive, and that's really what his journey is about. And beating Dr. Evil is sort of a sideline, because who couldn't beat Dr. Evil?
As long as people are still having promiscuous sex with many anonymous partners without protection, while at the same time experimenting with mind-expanding drugs in a consequence-free environment, I'll be sound as a pound.
He does have a super element to himself. It's his mojo.
I won't bite.
Austin Powers' mojo is his essence, his life force, his libido, what the French call a certain I don't know what.
Yes, Austin Powers is the definition of heroic. Something to aspire to.
Oh, behave.
16º colocado, The Tick.
To the rooftops!
Uma das mais inteligentes paródias de super-heróis já criadas, The Tick, surgiu em 1986, no fanzine caseiro do quadrinista Ben Edlund. O personagem, um ex-interno de hospício que se transforma em super-herói, fez sucesso na década de 90, representando a classe dos insetos em gibis, desenho animado e uma série de TV.
From this day forth, I will spread my buttery justice over your every nook and cranny. Hear me, O city by city. Your toast will never go bare again.
The superhero genre, if you take 2 steps back, is a bit of a farce. So The Tick, your mind runs wild and you can, you know, go, I'm Broccoli Boy, and I'm gonna fight, you know, Rutabaga Man, and you can just start having fun.
Wicked men, you face the tick.
He puts on glasses, but he's still got his tick antennas, and he's got his jacket on, and nobody can recognize who he is, because why can't they see past the glasses?
You're an idiot in a bunny suit.
We have a lot of these moments in comic books that are easily made fun of, and are cannon fodder for a creative guy.
We'll take it from here.
Os Mega Mudanças em
15º colocado, Demolidor. O super-herói na 15ª posição dá novo sentido ao termo justiça cega. Ele é o Demolidor, o homem sem medo da Marvel. Desde 1964, esse personagem prova que mesmo as deficiências podem ser fonte de poder.
Marvel heroes usually get their powers through accidents. Daredevil's this young boy who, while trying to save a man from walking into the street, gets spilled on with toxic chemicals, and he goes blind. He has to give up part of his life to get these new special powers.
Daredevil is my favorite superhero. He developed these incredible abilities to know where things are and hear things far away and smell things and sort of have almost like a radar.
I thought he represented my most daring step in superheroes. I loved the gimmicks we dreamed up, like he didn't need Braille, but his touch was so sensitive. He could run his finger over a newspaper page and he could feel the ink on the page. And he could tell if someone was lying to him because his hearing was so acute that he could hear their pulse rate speed up.
Durante o dia, o Demolidor é um advogado. Mas ele é mais forte do que parece. Em 1979, o herói foi redesenhado pelo artista Frank Miller, que inspirou o visual sofisticado das graphic novels dos anos 80 e do filme Demolidor de 2003, estrelado por Ben Affleck.
I got work to do.
Daredevil is a vigilante, and I relate to vigilantes. I don't think you should sit back and take whatever.
Marvel really surpassed DC by making their heroes less cookie cutter, by making their characters have flaws.
14º colocado, O Máscara.
You have to ask yourself one question. Do I feel lucky? Do ya? Punks?
O Máscara ficou conhecido graças ao filme com Jim Carrey sobre um tímido rapaz que obtém superpoderes de uma máscara antiga. Mas o insano herói verde era muito mais sórdido e violento quando estreou no gibi da editora Dark Horse em 1987.
The mask, which had belonged to the god Loki, would come into somebody's life and they'd find this power, they'd be able to do whatever they wanted, but the mask would twist them with Loki's evil mischief.
Em 1994, o gibi alternativo foi adaptado para o cinema em uma superprodução. O filme lucrou mais de $100 milhões só nos Estados Unidos, graças a 3 coisas: Jim Carrey,
I did it, you hear? And I'm glad. Glad, I tell ya!
computação gráfica inovadora e Cameron Diaz de vestido vermelho.
Okay. And it was only until technology caught up with what they could do on screen, and of course the perfect meeting of artist with objective in Jim Carrey, who has the ability to become sort of a living cartoon right before your very eyes.
The mask is a great concept because it does bring out all these inner desires and inner wants and takes away all inhibitions, but, you know, so does Bud Light.
Smoking!
13º colocado, Flash Gordon.
Flash Gordon!
You didn't think you'd get away with this, did you, Ming?
Há muito tempo, em um gibi distante, um super-herói da década de 30 provou que espaçonaves velozes princesas sensuais, vilões de capa e personagens peludos podiam render uma fortuna interestelar. George Lucas admitiu que Guerra nas Estrelas nunca existiria se não fosse pela história em quadrinhos da King Features, Flash Gordon.
Alex Raymond was one of the greatest comic strip artists in history. He had the power to really transport you to other planets and really become involved with the characters.
Flash não foi o primeiro super-herói espacial, mas foi a primeira estrela intergaláctica a ter sua própria história em quadrinhos, uma série de filmes, programa de rádio e até mesmo um selo postal.
If it hadn't been for Flash Gordon, there probably would never have been a Lost in Space or a Star Trek or a Star Wars. And Flash was the first one to take it into new worlds.
The old Flash Gordon serials, they didn't have the greatest special effects. They didn't have a lot of money to spend on them, but the characters believed in what they were doing, and I loved them.
Flash Gordon conquers the universe.
12º colocado, Hellboy.
It's laying our son. Go fight some monsters.
Como Blade, Hellboy, a criação de Mike Mignola é uma combinação de pecador e santo sobrenatural. Criado em 1993, os fãs de quadrinhos abriram os corações e as carteiras para o simpático demônio nascido da magia negra. Hellboy tenta fazer o bem, mesmo que os chifres em sua cabeça provem que ele não passa de um pequeno demônio.
The burden of being supernatural makes for a very, very lonely existence. And this guy has appetites that are truly human. And the poignancy of the character is that he is prevented from participating in a life that he yearns and longs to participate in.
You think, wow, that's really cool, this baby from hell. But if it was Heaven Boy, if it was a baby from heaven, I think that's not real. It's a lot easier to believe in hell than it is in heaven, especially if you live in LA.
Hellboy ficou conhecido por ser um dos raros filmes de super-herói que permaneceram fiéis à história em quadrinhos.
I'm not a very good shot, but the Samaritan here uses really big bullets. Oh, crap.
Ron Perlman really isolated Hellboy's temperament. He was this great mixture of anger, determination, sense of humor.
You missed. Everything he does reluctantly.
Didn't I kill you already?
That gives him this real blue-collar, everyman-ish kind of personality.
Gonna be sore in the morning.
11º colocado, Spawn. Hellboy é um anjo comparado ao super-herói na 11ª posição. Criado pelo ex-desenhista da Marvel Todd McFarlane, Spawn inaugurou uma nova geração de anti-heróis violentos com a história de um fuzileiro naval que é assassinado e se transforma em um demônio vingador.
Spawn is a flawed man and does a lot of stuff that he potentially regrets. And to me, it's more the course of will this man turn into a hero that's way more interesting than actually being the hero.
Spawn conferiu a Todd McFarlane superpoderes na vida real. O desenhista criou um império que inclui quadrinhos, bonecos, programas de TV e produtos licenciados. Tudo isso às custas do sangue e suor de Spawn.
Spawn perfectly reflects how superheroes have changed over the years. It's a fine line between a supervillain and a superhero with Spawn.
Spawn has a little bit of what if Batman wasn't owned by corporate America. Spawn, you shoot at him, he'll shoot back. You throw a knife at him, he'll throw a knife. And if you basically harm women and children, he will cut your head off.
Décimo colocado, o Incrível Hulk. Criado pela Marvel em 1962 e imortalizado no espalhafatoso seriado de TV dos anos 70, o Incrível Hulk não é exatamente um exemplo de controle emocional. mas pelo menos ele usa sua monstruosa força para o bem.
What I liked about the Hulk was power. He's able to fight any negativity, any forces, any evil.
I thought, wouldn't it be fun to get a monster and make him a hero? Then I remembered Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde. And I said, he's a normal guy who turns into a monster.
Don't make me angry. You wouldn't like me when I'm angry.
The Hulk is a really good example of how comic books are often the refuge of the bullied. Bruce Banner's a wuss. And then if you piss him off, he gains all this muscle mass and turns green, and he'll smash your head.
Gosh, I guess I always liked the Incredible Hulk because he was so strong and crazy and green and out there. It was sort of like the beast within.
The TV version with Lou Ferrigno, I really loved when I was a kid. The best part about the Hulk, the series, was the little sad piano music at the end. Dun, 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 dun. Bill Bixby would be walking onto another town, you know, trying to buy some stretch pants.
Nono colocado, o Quarteto Fantástico. Em 1961, o Quarteto Fantástico fez mais do que salvar o mundo. Eles foram responsáveis por salvar a editora Marvel da falência. Antes do quarteto, a Marvel era conhecida por produzir gibis infantis. Mas isso foi antes da chegada do viajante espacial Dr. Reed Richards. Sua noiva e futura esposa, Susan Storm, a Mulher Invisível. O irmão caçula de Susan, Johnny, o Tocha Humana e o piloto Ben Green, que se transforma na criatura de pedra, o Coisa.
The Fantastic Four really defined the new medium in comics. Superheroes are very much loners, or they have young boy sidekicks. But this was the first time we saw a family.
Após 33 anos reinando como estrelas dos quadrinhos, o Quarteto Fantástico partiu rumo a um destino mais assustador que o espaço sideral: Hollywood. Em 1994, o lendário produtor Roger Corman tentou adaptar as aventuras do quarteto para o cinema em uma produção nada fantástica que nunca foi lançada. Mas em 2005, o quarteto finalmente foi transformado em uma superprodução estrelado por Michael Chiklis e Jessica Alba.
With the Fantastic Four, the essence of it, the root of it, is all about family and sticking together. And regardless of what goes on in the world, at the end of the day, the only people you can rely on and lean on is your family.
I loved the Thing because he was a curmudgeon-y guy, but with a heart of gold. And you knew no matter how much he sort of bantered with Johnny Storm that he really loved the kid. He was literally a pillar of strength.
The Thing. That's the most, like, random-ass superhero ever. What is he, lava dude? No, he's the Thing. Great. Good thinking. Just throw him in with the Fantastic Four.
Oitavos colocados, Os Incríveis.
I love you.
O Quarteto Fantástico pode ter sido a primeira família de super-heróis, mas os Incríveis levaram o conceito de união familiar ao século XXI. O projeto do roteirista e diretor Brad Bird conta a história de uma família forçada a esconder seus poderes especiais para se adequar ao mundo normal.
I was absolutely blown away by The Incredibles. Superheroes having to kind of live this suburban life that we all have to deal with. Trash takeout day and parking tickets and all the banality of life. And they're kind of over the hill a little bit.
Showtime.
When you get older, you still think of yourself as being in your 20s and 30s, and you sort of yearn for that life that you had then. And I think that's what Mr. Incredible does. The Incredibles is an analogy for youth.
Honey, come to dinner.
I can't come to dinner. I've got the red
I gotta go!
Sétimos colocados, X-Men. Os X-Men, um grupo de heróis mutantes odiados pelos humanos por serem diferentes, eram vistos com suspeita em 1963. Nessa época, um herói da vida real, Malcolm X, acusava os americanos brancos de discriminação racial.
People can sometimes be mean and nasty and unfair to people that they conceive of as being different. And I said, well, let's see. Each character has an extra power. Their leader is called Professor X. I'll call him the X-Men.
These were different kinds of superheroes, the kind that people hadn't seen before. They sort of represented the outcasts and reluctant superheroes sworn to defend a world that hates and fears them.
Com o tempo, novos personagens como Wolverine transformaram os X-Men na mais poderosa franquia da Marvel. Em 2000, os mutantes tiveram sua própria mega produção em Hollywood.
The most effective comic book movie that I'd ever seen was X-Men. I really felt for those people. And I think that that's what you've got to do.
You could tell that the people working on it really dug the characters, and that Hugh Jackman as Wolverine was just amazing.
He's pretty much impenetrable because if you try and hit him, it's pretty much like hitting a brick wall. If you cut him, it just heals straight away. He's like an ultimate fighting machine in a way.
You want to shoot me? Shoot me!
Sexto colocado, Luke Skywalker.
I'm Luke Skywalker. I'm here to rescue you.
Han Solo pode ser o pirata espacial mais adorado da galáxia. Mas para a maioria dos fãs da Guerra nas Estrelas, nenhum personagem é mais real que Luke Skywalker.
This is Red 5. I'm going in.
Um garoto comum que sonha em deixar a família e o trabalho tedioso para conquistar novos mundos.
You have a kid who lives at the farthest edge of the universe. He's basically the most insignificant figure in that universe, and in the end, it's him and only him that can solve the biggest problem.
I got him! Great kid! Don't get cocky!
You have to really believe yourself to have the audience come along with you and believe along with you.
Remember, a Jedi can feel the Force flowing through him.
You mean it controls your actions?
Partially, but it also obeys your command.
The only way we could really play it would be, let's pretend we're in a fairy tale and be just totally committed to being sincere.
Is the dark side stronger?
No.
But how am I to know the good side from the bad?
You will know when you're calm, at peace.
Para criar o personagem, que originalmente se chamaria Luke Starkiller, George Lucas estudou heróis da literatura clássica e do folclore.
Luke Skywalker is King Arthur. He is the young boy who discovers the sword.
You have learned much, young one.
You'll find I'm full of surprises.
And becomes a king.
I am a Jedi.
Use the Force, Luke.
Luke, that's every man again, with hidden talent. And somehow that hidden talent will someday come to save us all.
Remember, the Force will be with you, always.
Quinto colocado, Indiana Jones. Nenhum cineasta contribuiu tanto para o mundo dos heróis como George Lucas, que transformou sua paixão pelos filmes de ficção dos anos 30 em superproduções modernas. O segundo herói de Lucas na lista, Indiana Jones, prova que para ser um super-herói não é preciso acessórios ou raios gama, apenas inteligência e um chicote.
In Indiana Jones, I created a character that was flawed, and he was put into superhero situations, and he came through. But he always came through by the skin of his teeth.
Em 1980, Lucas e o diretor Steven Spielberg decidiram que havia apenas um ator que poderia encarnar Indiana Jones, Tom Selleck. Para a sorte de Harrison Ford, Selleck já havia sido escalado para fazer o seriado de TV Magnum. O resto, como diria um arqueologista, é história.
Any questions, then?
I love Indiana Jones. He's so sexy. I think because he's like a real man and he gets freaked out.
There's a big snake in the plane! I hate him!
Harrison gives the audience permission to be Indiana Jones just by virtue of showing pain and showing fear.
But at the end of the day, he steps up to the plate and he kicks ass.
The classic moment, of course, is the guy with the swords.
We had this big sword fight, whip against sword.
It would have taken us 3 or 4 days of filming.
He went to Steven and said, you know, if this were real, I would just pull out my gun and shoot the guy.
The one who was most upset by it was the guy who had been practicing with the sword for months. I pulled the trigger before he had a chance to even think about it, and he fell down.
Quarto colocado, James Bond.
I think you got the point. 007. Guarantee sign of prompt delivery, night and day service.
Indiana Jones deve parte do seu sucesso ao herói na posição número 4. O super espião criado por Ian Fleming, James Bond.
I think you've made your point, Goldfinger. Thank you for the demonstration.
Bond is like Batman. He has incredible gadgets. And, you know, if they don't have the superpowers, they gotta have the gadgets.
He was an international spy who got to sleep with copious amounts of beautiful women, drive super fast cars. He's the ultimate guy's guy.
Fleming foi espião britânico na Segunda Guerra Mundial e em 1952 escreveu o romance de espionagem definitivo, Cassino Royale. Desde então, o agente 007 já apareceu em todo tipo de produto, de filmes a videogames e relógios.
Bond broke open the whole concept of spy movies. Spies became it. They were our superheroes of that particular moment. Instead of spandex, our heroes were now in tuxedos.
Cool cars, cool clothes, and really beautiful women. He was the original pimp back in the day.
My name is Pussy Galore.
I must be dreaming.
James Bond, mixing business with girls and thrills. Girls and fun. Girls and danger.
Desde sua estreia na década de 60, os filmes de James Bond faturaram mais de 3,7 bilhões de dólares. De Pierce Brosnan a Roger Moore e Woody Allen, o agente já foi interpretado por vários atores.
My doctor says I can't have bullets enter my body at any time.
Mas para a maioria dos fãs, ninguém superou o ator que falou pela primeira vez.
My name is Bond. James Bond.
When the dude walked into a room and the chicks started just taking their clothes off, you bought it. You said, well, he's that good looking. My pants are off right now.
What sharp little eyes you've got.
Wait till you get to my teeth.
Terceiro colocado, Batman.
You give yourselves up without a struggle, we'll try and make things easier for you.
And if not, you may be severely pummeled about the head and shoulder.
O super-herói na terceira posição continua tão popular atualmente como quando surgiu pela primeira vez nas ruas de Gotham City em 1939.
No question, my favorite superhero as a kid was Batman, because he was human.
Here's the character of a young boy whose wealthy, happy family was taken away from him, lost his mom and his dad, and then he became this avenging vigilante.
He had a giant cave under his house, and I thought that would be so cool. And it wasn't until years later that I realized that his relationship with Robin was wholly inappropriate.
Holy heart failure!
Em 1966, Batman virou um sucesso da cultura popular americana graças ao seriado de TV que agradava adultos e crianças com um estilo psicodélico e satírico.
Just looking, thanks. I'll stand at the bar. I shouldn't wish to attract attention.
Most comic book fans think the TV Batman ruined the comic book world for years and years and years, but it's closer to the real comic books than people would want to admit.
Em 1989, Tim Burton redefiniu o Cavaleiro das Trevas, inspirando-se nas sombrias graphic novels do ex-desenhista da Marvel, Frank Miller.
When Tim Burton decided to bring some darkness to it, finally Dark Knight had the treatment that he deserved.
Tim was really into the Frank Miller Batman thing, and knew it and understood it much more than I did. He had the vision of it, and the look of it, and the images and the tone of it.
Infelizmente, as sequências do filme não foram tão bem recebidas. O uniforme com mamilos salientes utilizado pelo herói do filme Batman e Robin de 1997 foi a gota d'água.
I always thought that Clooney should have been the perfect Bruce Wayne. Unfortunately, they cast him in one of the worst Batman movies of all time.
Let that be an object lesson in the dangers of tampering with the laws of Mother Nature.
Segundo colocado, Super-Homem. Os anti-heróis podem estar na moda, mas Spawn, Hellboy e Blade juntos não conseguiram derrotar o personagem que transformou os super-heróis em mania mundial. Criado pelos filhos de imigrantes judeus Jerry Siegel e Joe Shuster, o Super-Homem também era um estrangeiro.
It's funny to think that they tried for 6 years to sell Superman, and the editor said, it's just too fantastic. No kid is going to believe a character who can lift a car over his head or leap over buildings. June 1938, Action 1 comes out, and within a year, Superman had transformed an entire industry.
Superman was so perfect. Just those abs. I mean, God, the blue and the red and the yellow all coming together over those. I'm starting to sound very gay, aren't I?
Durante a Grande Depressão e a Segunda Guerra Mundial, o Super-Homem era um símbolo da verdade e da justiça. Algo surpreendente, considerando que Siegel e Shuster haviam concebido o personagem como um supervilão. Após venderem o personagem por míseros $130, o Super-Homem passou para o lado do bem e virou um ícone do poder americano. Alguém que podia derrotar Lex Luthor e Adolf Hitler ao mesmo tempo.
He could fly, stop bullets. He looked fantastic in tights. And those tights were just a little bit too tight, so Superman got a whole lot of super things going on.
I remember having a red pair of tight Speedo-like trunks and putting them on over my mother's blue tights. And then I cut it out of cardboard, the Superman chest logo, and put it on a blue sweatshirt. And then I tied a red towel around my neck or pinned it to my shoulders.
It's an interesting character because he's really three characters. He's the Clark Kent from the farm, he's the affected Clark Kent who works at the Daily Planet, and he's Superman, the last son of Krypton.
No, I don't believe it.
And these are three very, different characters.
He actually has to downplay his abilities and so that the rest of us can actually relate to him, because really at the end of the day, if he was just Superman, I'd hate this guy. Every girl would want Superman. He'd be getting laid all the time.
Oh, Superman, you were wonderful.
You're pretty wonderful yourself.
Oh.
My favorite superhero was Superman. Played so brilliantly, I thought, by Christopher Reeve.
Richard Donner did a brilliant job on the first Superman movie. I thought the second Superman movie was good too. Unfortunately, they went downhill after that.
Na última década, o Super-Homem também mostrou seus poderes na TV. Ele apareceu como o marido de Lois Lane no seriado As Aventuras de Superman e foi retratado como adolescente no drama Smallville. Em 2005, o diretor de X-Men, Bryan Singer, fortaleceu a franquia, lançando o filme Superman: O Retorno, estrelado por Brandon Routh como o Homem de Aço.
It's an opportunity and a responsibility, and I was very adamant about casting an unknown, and I found a wonderful guy, and Brandon Routh. To embody all expectations is quite a task. So to me, it goes from being, wow, childhood dream realized, to, wow, big job ahead.
Superman started a genre which has continued to this day. The projection of super abilities onto human characters. And to me, everything dribbles down from Superman.
I didn't even get a chance to thank him.
Primeiro colocado, o Homem-Aranha. O super-homem pode ser o herói mais poderoso e 007 pode ter os melhores dispositivos eletrônicos. Mas quando se fala de originalidade, poder de marca, sucesso multimídia e melhor fantasia, ninguém pode superar esse herói que veio para ficar. Em primeiro lugar está o Homem-Aranha. Quando o ex-garoto de recados e futuro editor da Marvel, Stan Lee, apresentou o Homem-Aranha, ele quase foi jogado para fora do escritório. Os americanos odeiam insetos, disse o chefe. Mas desde o início, o personagem mostrou ter muito potencial.
Spider-Man, or Peter Parker, is somebody that virtually any young reader can identify with. He didn't get along well with girls, particularly. He had dandruff, he had acne, I gave him all the ills that flesh is heir to.
My favorite superhero was Spider-Man because he was a troubled kid. He wasn't an invincible adult. And he wore long johns, and I had long johns, so I felt a connection. Oh boy.
All of a sudden, characters like Spider-Man were being created who had real personal problems.
I understood his issues, you know, being a nerd and not be able to tell people that he was a superhero.
Spider-Man's the most humanistic superhero there is. Very charismatic and sweet, and he's a little dorky.
I think there is a Peter Parker in all of us.
Em 1967, um ano após o lançamento do seriado Batman, o Homem-Aranha estreou na TV em um desenho animado. Nos 20 anos seguintes, ele raramente ficou fora das telas. Em 1978, apareceu em um seriado de TV estrelado por Nicholas Hammond. O personagem também ensinou as crianças a ler no programa infantil Electric Company. Na década de 70, foi lançada uma ópera rock do herói junto com uma infinidade de produtos licenciados.
If it had Spider-Man on it, I probably owned it. I've got sleeping bag, bath towel, toys. I'm sure there were some pajamas along the way.
Cool Spidey outfit. Thanks.
Em 2002, a fama do aracnídeo explodiu com o lançamento da superprodução Homem-Aranha. A bilheteria do filme e a venda de mercadorias somaram $1 bilhão, uma quantia que dobrou com a sequência de 2004.
Of all of the comic book characters that have been translated to film, Spider-Man may be the best executed so far because they really hit right on Peter Parker's persona. They've got his sense of humor, his great fun at first discovering his powers. And Tobey Maguire is a really good dual personality.
Everything that made Spider-Man popular and is still making him popular in the books, it's on the screen.
I think I have a superhero stalker.
I was in the neighborhood.
É fácil perceber por que o Homem-Aranha e outros super-heróis estão no topo do universo da cultura pop. Os super-heróis enfrentam as batalhas que seus fãs gostariam de lutar, oferecendo segurança em um mundo incerto.
Holy heart failure! It's the fantasy of a person being able to have superpowers and save the day.
Who wouldn't want to be able to fly through the sky?
Who wants to watch the common man? I don't know if you've noticed, the common man blows. I want to watch the common man. I'll look in my house. I got him! Oh boy.
We'll take it from here.